This idea that history repeats itself over and over, and mostly as human beings, we're very slow to learn lessons.
Mireille, this is honestly such a joy to chat with you. Honestly and truly, and this is a total coincidence. Last
Yeah.
night, my oldest son and I were watching World War Z
Oh, wow.
as well, so
That's
it's fun. I
awesome.
was like, I'm speaking to her tomorrow. This is
Oh,
great,
that's
but a
so
different thing.
great. Yeah.
It is such a joy to chat with you, and honestly, for all mankind is such an incredible show.
Thank you.
And Celia's journey story arc this year has been really fascinating to watch. What do you admire most about your character?
Hmm. Um, most characters that you are given the chance to play are have like a strong sense of self, and they have a place of belonging, and they often are in positions of power. And Celia is not, she is trying to be invisible in her life when we meet her. She has moved to Mars. She doesn't have very many friends. She kind of blew up her life on Earth. And so it's a much slower burn, with her finding her new place of belonging and actually like tapping into what her strength is, which is her inability to stay quiet in the face of injustice. And she just keeps, even when everyone around her is telling her to keep her mouth shut, she keeps just pushing forward because justice is something that draws her. And ultimately we watch that helps her find through the course of this season, and now we're now shooting season 6, that helps her find like her most grounded sense of self that she's ever had in her life.
I'm glad you said that because that was one of the things I think is so fascinating. I know we've seen up to episode 5 at this point.
Yeah.
And the challenge for her character is standing up for what's right,
Yeah.
even when those she cares about are showing their true colors.
Yeah.
What is it about her spirit that drives her to fight for justice in the way that you see?
I think she spent a lot of her life, my hunch is she spent a lot of her life people telling her to keep her mouth closed. And you know, I think all of us come to this life with some, like, you might call it an Achilles heel or whatever, but just something that keeps following us. And her thing is that she can't keep her mouth shut because she wants things to be grounded in truth. And so then that gets her into a revolution she never asked for, and potentially the start of a new nation she doesn't even know if she feels like she belongs in. But it's better than the alternative, which is aligning herself with people who are lying and who are trying to suppress, the blue collar workers of this new planet.
You know, I love this tension that goes on. I mean, the series is just phenomenal across the board, and I love that it's a fictionalized history. And I was wondering, in this spirit, what do you think we can learn about today as we are start to wrap about a show that tells us about a different history?
Yeah, I mean, I know that Matt and Ben are really curious about this idea that history repeats itself over and over, and mostly as human beings, we're very slow to learn lessons. And so, whether you're talking about the history of humans on Earth or now in this revised history, the history of humans on new planets in new colonies, what seems to be continue to be true is that money and power tries to subjugate those who are willing to get their hands dirty and get the work done. And this is a fictionalized story in which the people are unwilling to not have autonomy and to not be, given power over the things that they're creating. I think that's a beautiful story.
I do too, honestly. Thank you so much for your time, Ray. Honestly, I can't wait to see where Celia's story goes.
Thank you so
And
much.
this show's fantastic. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.